Good evening. My name's Dr. Kramer. If you are tuning in for the first time, thanks for joining us tonight. We've got about 6:45 by my time, so we're going to give folks just another minute or two to get on the call. We recently wrapped up our middle school overview, and we'll be starting our high school overview here momentarily in just about a minute or two. Again, if you are joining us for the first time, we will have opportunities for a question and answer both throughout the session and at the end of the session. And so feel free at any point to pose any questions that you might have using the Q&A function at the bottom of your Zoom toolbar. That'll pose that question to us, and we'll make sure we answer it at a point during the presentation that kind of flows seamlessly. We are planning for about a 45-minute presentation as it relates to our high school programming. For those of you that were in attendance earlier for the middle school program, there'll be just a little bit of redundancy at the beginning of this as we talk about kind of the overview of our program, but then we will pretty swiftly pivot to really talking about the particular aspects and details of our high school program and the various courses that we offer, the classes that you need as far as graduation requirements are concerned, kind of what a standard schedule looks like at 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade, and then just lots of other opportunities for you to ask questions about how high school works online. So I'll give folks just about 30 more seconds, and then we will officially kick things off. We are recording this session for the benefit of students and families that were not able to attend synchronously tonight. So I wanted to let you know that. All right, we will officially kick things off. Again, my name is Dr. Nicholas Kramer. I am the principal of EP Online, and I'm so excited and glad that you're able to join us this evening. We're very excited to share lots of details about our high school programming and give you the tools you need to start to sign up for classes next year. I'm joined tonight by our awesome EPO guidance counselor, Danielle Wold.
Hi, everybody. Yes, I'm Danielle Wold, the school counselor for Eden Prairie Online, grades 6 through 12. And I'm happy to be here and help answer questions, manage the chat, drop some information on you guys. And if there's any nitty-gritty details regarding scheduling or credits or other, fun things, I can help answer those as well.
Thanks, Danielle. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. We always like to start with a reminder of our mission. The mission of Eden Prairie Schools is to inspire each student to learn continuously so they are empowered to reach personal fulfillment and contribute purposefully to our ever-changing world. And we are constantly trying to live and breathe that mission, that idea of inspiring each student is something we focus on all the time, and something we really are proud of our online program because we believe we've developed a program that really can bring this mission to life virtually in the same way that we do in person in our neighborhood schools. And so with that said, we have folks joining us tonight who are already EP Online students and are already in our high school program. We've got students joining us tonight that are in our middle school program and will be becoming 9th graders next year, and so are curious about what's similar and what's different. And then we've got folks that are joining us tonight who are just trying to learn more about our program and have never participated before. And so we'll address questions and give information that's pertinent to all of you. But the first thing to know is just how do you enroll in our program? So if you are already enrolled, there's no further action that you need to take. Your enrollment will automatically roll over to the next school year. And of course, unless that's not something you want, in which case let us know. But if you have not enrolled with us before, your first step when you get off of this call, if you do want to take that step to enroll, is to contact our district's Welcome Center. And so we've got their website. their email address and their phone number on the screen here. There's a short and fairly straightforward process you'll need to walk through to get your student officially enrolled. And then at that point, you'll be able to proceed with the course registration process that we're going to share more about during this call. So with that said, we want to share just a little bit about who we are. EP Online currently serves about 450 students full-time across the state of Minnesota in grades kindergarten all the way through 12th grade. Pretty equal balance of students at every grade level. We also serve about 270 part-time students right now. So students that kind of like the best of both worlds and want to spend some of their time in a physical high school and some of their time in a virtual high school. And so students are able to do either option. And we're proud to be able to offer both of those. One of the things that we really love about EP Online is just how diverse our student population is. About a fourth of our students are local residents of Eden Prairie, but 3/4 of them are open enrolled from all over the state of Minnesota. Most Minnesota counties are represented. And so our classes are really a neat melting pot, both culturally and geographically, of students from urban and suburban and rural settings, really getting to know each other and learn together in a way that you wouldn't be able to get in just your neighborhood school. So we're really proud of that, and just the strong academic reputation our program has as well. Our students do very well and outperform many schools around the state on standardized achievement measures like ACT and other things that are important to high schoolers. Why do they come? Lots of different reasons. For some, it's related to safety and security, physical health, mental health, kind of a refuge from bullying, violence, and things like that. For others, it's flexibility. At the high school level in particular, we know that many students are involved in lots of extracurricular activities that sometimes overlap with a traditional school day and can make it hard to do both well. And so online can give you that flexibility of being able to adapt the work in a way and a time that works better for you and your student. Other students really, want to seek career commitments. They want to intern, they want to work a job, make some money. And again, online can give some flexibility to really make that possible. Our students also really appreciate the personalization that comes with our program, that ability to really get individualized feedback and one-on-one time with teachers that in a large high school, you may not always have. We have, I like to think, the best of both worlds. We've got the benefit of really lots of specialized programming that you wouldn't find in a smaller school, but we've got the intimacy of really getting to know everybody, in all the teachers and all the students in your grade level in a way that you wouldn't get at a large high school. And then finally, and kind of mentioned that just a moment ago, but we're really proud of the opportunity that we provide. We've got lots of access to specialized courses, particularly advanced placement courses, and lots of access to student support services to really ensure students have rigorous academic programming. And so we're proud to and excited to share some of those opportunities tonight. Finally, our staff is kind of the lifeblood that makes all of this work. We've got a team of both full-time teachers at the secondary level who are accessible kind of all day, every day, as well as a strong team of adjunct instructors who teach full-time in an in-person setting and teach some of our asynchronous courses at night in addition to their normal workload. And we've got a full academic support team, including Ms. Wold, our counselor, but we've got social workers and psychologists and a strong leadership team as well. So everything you'd come to expect in a brick and mortar school, we've got right here. And so with that said, we'll get down to the nitty gritty. Why you came tonight. We'll share a little bit more about our high school programming. So if you're unfamiliar with our program, we utilize both online and at our local high school a block schedule. So students are taking 4 courses per semester, and they're spending roughly about 90 minutes of instructional time a day in each of those courses. So they go deeply in fewer courses. They go more quickly through fewer courses, but that benefit of having just fewer teachers, fewer assignments to juggle at one time. Students are served using a variety of models. So we have kind of what I like to call a choose your own adventure approach at EP Online. So we have lots of synchronous programming for students that benefit from, live interactions with teachers and their peers in a Zoom call, much like this. But we also allow students to asynchronously participate in any and all of our high school courses as well, where they can kind of choose to complete that work at a time and place that works for them. We typically pace assignments out on a week-by-week basis, and beyond that, students have a lot of flexibility to figure out how they want to work it. We issue on the hardware front MacBooks to all of our high school students. And that includes students that are open enrolled from outside of the Eden Prairie community. That is a shift from our middle school programming. So our rising ninth graders over the summer at our kickoff event in August, we'll give you that opportunity to come trade in your old iPad and pick up a new MacBook. We believe that shift to MacBook makes a lot of sense at the high school level, where you're doing more word processing and some more advanced computer work. And again, I mentioned we've got a full student support service bevy. So our counselors, our social workers, but also specialized teachers in the areas of special education, language learning, and gifted and talented specialists. So again, the lifeblood of our program is our exceptional teachers. We also pride ourselves as an online program for the frequent and flexible communication we have with you as families and parents and guardians. We provide lots of opportunities throughout the school year for your voice to be heard and to have that one-on-one time with us. I mentioned already we utilize a block schedule, so 4 courses per semester, 2 credits per course. Again, a mix of formats. Some of those courses meet in real time, some of them are self-paced, and a large number of honors and advanced placement options. One of the newer aspects of our program that we're proud of is our Connections Advisory. That's a period that starts the day where students are placed with other students in their same grade level. So they get to meet and know a small group of peers really well, and 1 or 2 faculty advisors really well. And they'll loop with that group each grade in high school. So 9th grade to 10th grade, 11th grade, and then 12th grade. And it's a chance both logistically for us to take attendance for the day, get students out of bed, make sure they're ready to roll, but also it allows us an opportunity for them to have a little bit more of an informal setting to socialize and get to know each other, to make that online space feel more personal and less artificial, if you will. And so kind of serves as that social point, but it also gives us a place to do some academic advising with students, making sure they're organized, they're keeping track of their own progress in their courses and their grades and things of that nature. And so, as I mentioned before, there are kind of 2 different types of courses at the high school level. So any of our courses that are required because they fulfill an Eden Prairie graduation requirement, which Danielle will share here shortly. All of those courses, we've made sure that we provide synchronous teacher support in each of those courses. So what that looks like is daily, Monday through Thursday, those courses will have synchronous scheduled sessions. I'll show you a sample schedule in just a moment. And those will start with kind of a whole class meeting where there'll be some direct instruction from the teacher. The teacher will make sure they walk through like what the assigned academic practice tasks are for the day, answer questions that students might have from the previous day's work. And then the remaining time is a drop-in workshop where that teacher is available in their schedule, and they'll remain on a Zoom call, but students have some flexibility. If they want to go off and work, they can. If they want to stay on and work in a small group or work with that teacher present, they can do that as well. They want to get off and then realize, oh, I'm confused about something and I want to pop on later. There's lots of fluidity there that allows that to work. So those are all of our grad required courses. Meanwhile, our elective courses at the high school level are all asynchronous in format. So again, these are a teacher that's assigned to that course. That teacher is going to be providing lots of personalized feedback as students are working through the course at their own pace. That teacher also has office hours each week where students can drop in if they need extra help. But by design, those courses are just a little bit more flexible, and that asynchronous format really allows us to maximize the number of elective courses we offer. And so for a school our size, we're really proud that we're able to offer dozens and dozens and dozens of elective courses because we use this format. And so we'll share what those are here shortly. All right, the last piece that I've got before I'm going to turn that mic over to Danielle is, again, just what does that sample schedule look like? And if you were with us in the middle school program, this looks awfully familiar because we use that same grid at the high school level as well. So that advisory will be from 8:40 to 8:55 each morning, Monday through Friday. It's a chance, like we said, to check in, take attendance, and get ready for the day. And then there are 4 periods throughout the day, one starting at 9 o'clock, 10:30, 12:30, and 2. Some of these periods, like you can see in the sample schedule here, will be classes that have synchronous sessions. So the courses on the screen that are in blue font and underlined, those are all grad required courses that have those synchronous daily meetings at those times. And then, as you can see, students will also have open electives. And so these are courses where they can choose from our wide range of elective options. These courses do not meet synchronously during the day. Many students may still choose to work on that course during that slot in the day that's open, but they don't have to. They could work on them in the morning if they like to wake up early. They could work on them late at night if they're a night owl. They've got lots of flexibility there. And as we said, that teacher is providing frequent feedback as they work through the course. And that teacher will have office hours throughout the week that students can pop in for if they need that extra layer of help and support. So with that said, I'm going to turn it over to Danielle to kind of walk us through just what are the graduation requirements and what do different grade level configurations look like.
Yeah, thanks, Nick. So one of the big, I think, transitions from middle to high school is now that we have to start looking at credits and making sure that you are taking and passing all the classes that you need to graduate. And I know sometimes this list and these numbers might look a little daunting and trying to make sure you're checking everything off. But as we'll kind of go through some like sample schedules in like the sequence of study that we typically go through, like if you are taking and passing like a full credit load, that students will have no problem like graduating on time. And a couple, this last semester they graduated a little early, so they gotta be done and enjoy their last semester of doing whatever they want. So, and this credit, this graduation requirements is pretty much copy and pasted from Eden Prairie High School. So if you're within district, pretty much everything on this list is going to be virtually identical, and most of these are also just the standard state classes that you need to be taking. So regardless if you're transferring in or from out of district, a lot of these classes are the things that you will need to graduate. All right. And in addition to those required courses, we have a variety of advanced placement courses. Some of these will fulfill the graduation requirements, as you take AP Human Geography as opposed to Human Geography. What a great way to get high school credit and the opportunity to take the AP exam in the spring, and scoring well enough on that will potentially earn you college credit. And again, college is not getting any cheaper by any stretch of the imagination. So this is absolutely something I recommend to students who are college bound, especially 4-year college bound. You can rack up an enormous amount of credits in high school, essentially like either cheap or for free. And then your duration of your college career is going to be much, much easier because of the work that you put in at the high school level. All right. And in addition to the advanced placement electives, here are just some general elective courses. Some of these we're like super excited to hopefully offer next year, like veterinary and marine science, biotechnology, principles of public service, so that we're hoping to offer these to students who have a bit more of a focus in something that they are really truly interested in. These are great career fields that we would want to encourage students to take and to pursue. And again, high school is a fantastic opportunity to see what your interests are, see what your strengths are, and see if this is something that you would want to pursue as a career or at least a college major. All right, and here's again just a larger variety of our elective options: our fine arts, business, technology, world language. And again, I kind of went over this in the middle school lecture as well, but world language is something that we really are pleased to be able to offer. 4 years of, again, colleges really like to see at least 2 of those 2 years of a world language, but you could take even more. Again, the real world applications of these classes is just phenomenal, and we'll have lots of opportunities for especially juniors and seniors to take that. And again, as we'll go through shortly, what each schedule hypothetically could look like. So again, this is just a sample 9th grade schedule. By no means are all these timeframes and blocks locked into place, but a typical freshman are going to be taking, your English, your math, which for most students is going to be geometry, or if you're advanced track, algebra 2, your science, your geography, which again has the opportunity for AP credit. We will pretty much always recommend and sign you up automatically for your computer application class so that we can knock out your technology credit. Same thing with your fine arts credit and your physical education credit. So again, if you take the majority of these classes and pass them, you will make a perfect progress to progress to the next stage with plenty of time to spare.
Yeah, and I'll just mention too, those of you that were on the middle school call, that our 8th graders have the opportunity to start a world language in 8th grade. And so many of them will continue on then in 9th grade taking that 2nd level course. But if you're transferring in or you didn't take a middle school course in world language, no worries, you can certainly access that in 9th grade as well, or later.
Yep, absolutely. All right, and again, a sample 10th grade schedule is going to look pretty similar, especially your first 2 years. You are busy cranking out your English and math, science, social studies credits. Again, we are recommending students get their business class their sophomore year, as well as their health class as well. And if you are continuing with a world language, again, a fantastic thing to continue. Your fine arts elective, again, if you're musically inclined or you like your visual arts, a great passion project to pursue. And again, if you have met those requirements, we can substitute that out for one of the many other electives that we showed you in the previous slides.
Thanks. And that personal finance and careers course is really a great kind of intro to career pathways, and exploring students' interests will hopefully help them make more informed decisions as they start to pick electives here in the latter grade levels.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and at 11th grade level, typically if a student is taking a full course load and passing those 4 course loads, we'll see these open block opportunities start to pop up. So again, the students will be, of course, taking their English, social studies, their final required year of science, your final required year of mathematics. And then you will have a third option, again, to take whatever really interests your fancy. And if you choose, you can just leave it at 3 courses per term. Again, maybe you are busy with electives or jobs or internships, and you might need that open block in your space. But again, we are very welcome to do so. Or you may, again, pick from one of the electives that are interesting to you. You think that would bolster your transcript for resumes or college applications. Junior and senior year is really where you have a chance to shine at what do you want, honestly, after graduation, because it sneaks up really fast. And it's nice to have an idea of what your plan is afterwards.
Yeah, as Danielle shared, one of the benefits of our block schedule is that students get an overabundance of credits, right? They need 54 credits to graduate. But if you were to take a course every block all 4 years, you actually would end up with 64 credits, right? So that gives you 10 credits to play with that are kind of bonus. And that's where for our upperclassmen, if they want to take fewer total courses, that's where that open block becomes a possibility. If they've taken care of business as a 9th grader and 10th grader, they've got a little more room in their schedule to play around in 11th grade and 12th grade.
Mhm. Absolutely. And again, like all these elective openings are still there as well. And really like the only two main classes you need to finish up at that point is your final year of English and your final credits of social studies. We generally do recommend taking a math elective and highly suggest a science elective as well, because a lot of colleges, again, either require or heavily recommend and smile upon those extra 4 years. I believe the U of M does require 4 years of math, up to like pre-calculus is, recommended 4th year. Science may not be, again, recommended for a 4th year, but having like AP biology, having anatomy and physiology looks fantastic. And again, if that is a potential career field that a student is looking into the STEM, that's great to get kind of the more hands-on experience of what the field actually is. And again, we have that open blocks available for pursuing whatever electives you want, or at this point, if you have completed the main majority of your classes, you get to take a break and devote some time on finishing up those college applications.
Awesome. So we know that classes aren't the only thing, right, that happens at the high school level. We know many students choose to participate in extracurricular activities, whether that's an athletics, a club, a music ensemble, a theater experience, or what have you. And so we always like to let folks know that as an EP online student, you are still fully eligible to participate in any extracurricular activity that is offered locally at Eden Prairie High School, or if you don't live locally, at your own local high school. You are still able with Mitchell to compete in athletics at a local school district, even if you're enrolled in an online program. So there is that opportunity for students. You don't have to give up extracurricular involvement just to participate in an online school. And we also have a growing number of virtual extracurricular activities that we offer. We've got a growing esports team for EP online students, if that is your jam. And we've got a number of just kind of more social clubs that we've been building at the virtual level. The other thing to know is if any of your students are looking at being a college level athlete, all of our EPO courses are NCAA approved, so that those transfer smoothly into your college level athletic careers. So that kind of brings us to the registration portion of our session. And so we'll briefly talk about this, but then we've got lots of time here for questions. And so those of you that are watching live tonight, if you have some questions that you'd like to ask that weren't answered or weren't completely clear from what we've previously presented, please use that Q&A tab at the bottom of your Zoom toolbar. It looks like a little text balloon, and it'll give you an opportunity to pose those questions tonight. And so we'll answer as many as we can over the next 15 minutes. But when you are ready to register, there is a form that Danielle will share in the chat. And for those of you who are not live tonight, we'll be sharing this in our next newsletter. We'll also post it on our website, and we'll also be sharing it in Connections advisories over the next couple of weeks. Danielle will be going to each grade level and providing a Cliff Notes version of this presentation for students as well. And so It's a relatively, I wouldn't say it's completely short Google form. It's involved, but it'll take you through kind of that whole course catalog that we have. It'll really kind of tailor it. So it'll allow you to say what grade level you're going into. It'll give you kind of, again, what that recommended course setup will look like, but then it'll give you the chance to go through and mark the courses that you want to take, as well as let us know some backup courses to have just in case the schedule doesn't work out perfectly, and give you also a chance to share any questions or feedback you have, so that we can take that into account. And so that registration form is live as of right now, and will remain live through the end of the month of February. So you've got several weeks to kind of think through things. I don't know if Danielle, if you posted it yet, but if not, you might also post our course catalog, where you can find more detailed descriptions of each class and what they cover and what types of credits they satisfy and all that good stuff. So definitely use that as a tool as you kind of look through this registration guide, and pick the classes that are going to be right for you. And again, that course catalog is found on our website for those of you watching the recording. We've got a few questions, so we'll answer those. And again, feel free to keep them coming, those of you that are here live tonight. So is there any chance that language courses in particular have a synchronous option versus asynchronous only? Yeah, that's a great question, Peter. Thanks for posing it. With our elective courses, one of the considerations we have for whether to move a course to synchronous or not is just the enrollment size. I'll kind of go back for a second. One of the benefits of offering electives asynchronously is it allows us to again have all of these really cool niche things like sports medicine or astronomy or agri-science. And typically in an elective class like that, we may only have 5 to 10 students enrolled at a time. And so the students, even though it's asynchronous, they're typically getting a lot of one-on-one attention from that teacher as they advance. However, for some of our courses that prove to be pretty popular, like Spanish, for example, we may get enough enrollment that it makes sense to really then devote kind of FTE in a way that would allow that teacher to have a block of their time to provide synchronous support kind of throughout the normal school day. So we do look at that on a yearly basis and kind of make those decisions where it makes sense. The other thing that we're always looking at and mindful of too, though, is just how do we make sure that we provide synchronous support even in courses that maybe don't have that as a default setting. And so those asynchronous teachers, like I said, do have that check-in time throughout the week. We also have a tutoring type program where students can pop in and get academic support at all hours of the school day for any subjects that they need help with. All right, we've got a question about where can we find information about what credits my child needs yet to graduate for next year? Especially if you have a student that has been at multiple schools and you're just trying to kind of see where are they at right now. Danielle, you want to take that one?
Yeah, absolutely. Once again, I did put my information in the chat. So like really targeted specific questions to maybe your student, and like I'm always happy to look over like specific transcripts you could send over, and then I can give like concrete answers on like your student needs this, and this, and here is what that would look like at our program. I'm also going to see if I can find and drop in the chat kind of a really basic worksheet that kind of allows students to have a checklist and say, all right, I have completed years 1, 2 of English. I've completed this of science, but not this credit of science. And there's a variety of, again, kind of checklists, and that was kind of covered on one of our slides previously on our graduation requirements, looking over some of that information. But again, some of that is pretty straightforward. You're going to know what English credits they have and haven't passed, hopefully at this point. But yeah, some of the little smaller ones, like what constitutes what another school might call their algebra, or what another school might call their like US history course. So I would say feel free to touch base with me individually, and I can work with you on the exact number of what your student is going to need.
Yeah, thanks. And once our guidance team has reviewed those transcripts, if you're again are a student that is newly transferred or is thinking about transferring, we do then officially kind of post that transcript on our student information system, Infinite Campus. And so you will be able to access on the transcript tab in your student's account there. You can see exactly like what credits have been transcribed. And they group those credits kind of by subject area like this, so that you can pretty easily then see, okay, what do I have and what might I still need to complete moving forward. We've got a question around career pathways. So particularly if you're a local family, you know that our district has really been investing a lot of time and energy within the last couple of years into expanding career pathway opportunities for students, giving them opportunities to, again, go deeper in take courses that allow them to pursue, a potential post-secondary career option. And in doing so, also to even earn some credentials on their transcript that says, I have completed a pathway in kind of the communication and arts, or I've completed a pathway in natural and applied sciences, or I've completed a pathway in business and management. And so EP Online students also have access to that same pathway programming. Of course, the courses we offer are a little bit different than the courses that brick and mortar offers. And frankly, we've got some courses that we're offering that they don't. And so students kind of have that best of both worlds. But as Danielle shared earlier on the call, the list of elective options that we are providing to students, there are about 8 or 9 courses that are brand new for next year that we've added in part because of that real pathway push. And so just to highlight a few, like that veterinary and marine science, biotechnology, pharmacology, careers in criminal justice, careers in national security, principles of public service. Moving on over here, sports and entertainment marketing, international business management. Those are just a few of the new courses that we've added next year, to really open up, again, career options for our students. And that's a commitment our district has made over the next several years to continue to expand those course offerings to really make sure that we're meeting kind of the wide array of interests that students have. All right, let's see what other questions are out there. A question about, what fine art opportunities are available to Eden Prairie online high school students. And we're actually right on that slide, so that's great. We've got a wide variety of courses, again, in both the visual art, theater, and music fields. And I was bragging on this aspect of our program earlier in the middle school webinar. Compared to a lot of online schools out there, this is an area that we really excel in, and we have kind of a robust number of possibilities for. And so, as you can see on the screen here, these are just a few of our options: art and world cultures, music and world cultures, theater, cinema, film production. We've got a host of techniques courses, and those are by design personalized skills classes that will sort of meet the student wherever they are in relation to either their oral performance techniques as an actor, or their vocal music as a vocal musician, or their instrumental music. So brass, woodwind, orchestra, percussion, piano, guitar, or their visual art techniques, if they are a sculptor, drawer, painter, things like that. And so those are courses students can retake as many times as they want in high school. Each time they take it, while we'll focus on the same skills, we're going to differentiate kind of where they are in their mastery level, and we'll continue to hone their craft as they just get better and better at it. And then some of those will also then bleed into potential advanced placement opportunities at the end, like AP Art History or AP Studio, where you can exhibit the work that you've produced and potentially earn college credit for that. We've got a question also in that college credit vein. I'll kick to you, Danielle. Is PSEO an option with EP Online, and how does that work?
One of my favorite questions. Love it. Love it. Yes, absolutely. The students are able to participate with a PSEO program. Any students 10, 11, 12. So 10th graders are allowed to take like one CTE course their beginning of their 10th grade year. But yeah, generally juniors and seniors, that's another great use of that open block is, a time when you're not doing your classes with us is you could be dedicating time to your PSEO classes. And truly there's not a whole lot of limit to like which PSEO program you can take. You can take any course through any PSEO program that's offered in Minnesota. Normandale is a popular choice for our students. Some are, looking at the U of M, which has, a pretty great selection. But if you aren't from around the metro area, and there's a college up around where you are, and they have a PSEO program, and that's very easy for you to work with that. Yeah, we could definitely work with what colleges and what courses you are possibly looking at, and have a dialogue on what that means for your high school and your college credits, because some of those might kill two birds with one stone. If you're taking a college level English class, your junior or senior year, that could satisfy your English requirement, and then you don't need to take an English class with us. Or it could satisfy your economics, your government class. And again, that's great on both ends, so that you free up some time in both of your schedules. So long story short, it is absolutely an option. If you are a current student with us and you are interested in PSEO, again, you would talk with me and we would sign the paperwork and go through next steps. If you are not going to be with us this spring, you would still need to work with your guidance counselor, high school counselor, or your high school to get the paperwork signed, because there are deadlines in like the spring. So unless you're again joining with us before the end of the year, you would need to get that stuff taken care of before the end of the school year. So yeah, absolutely something I'm very happy to talk about if anybody has more detailed questions.
Thanks, Danielle. We've got just one last question that's in the chat right now. So again, if you're attending live and you've got unanswered questions, this is kind of your last window to do so tonight. Although I'll share in a moment other ways you can contact us after this session is over. But the last question was around just, again, flexibility. So, in this example you see on the screen right now, we've got 4 different synchronous classes. And if I go back to that sample schedule for a second, oops, going the wrong direction there. You can see that again, the different times during the day that those synchronous classes would meet. And so this question is around, do you have to attend those synchronous classes? So this particular student is involved in competitive figure skating. And so, has ice time and competitions and things like that that would disrupt that schedule. And so no, that's the short answer is we do have that choice, where even though we are proud to be able to offer all of those grad required courses in a synchronous format, if your student wants to participate in them asynchronously, they absolutely have that option to do so. And they can complete all of the coursework still at a time of their choosing. Often those class sessions are recorded, so students can watch those later and still have the benefit of kind of hearing what a teacher might present live, in addition to the modules they're working on in Schoology. The only thing that we would need from you from an attendance standpoint, if you're not able to attend that connections advisory in the morning, is a attendance verification form that you'd fill out each day that just highlights some of the work that you did that would qualify you for being counted as present that day. But we've got numerous students that choose to go that asynchronous route, and it ends up working just fine for them. And in particular in this example, another benefit of online is it does give you that freedom to travel too. So students can be out of the state for up to 15 consecutive school days and still be fine as far as enrollment goes. And so that gives you that ability to be able to move around if you need to, without having your school life be disrupted. So I'm going to give folks just one last minute if there are any other questions out there. Otherwise, I will move to kind of this last slide, which just shares, how you can contact us. So we imagine that there are still personalized questions you might have, or as you get into the thick of looking at courses in the catalog and graduation requirements and recommended things like that. Feel free to reach out to us at any time. Danielle put her contact information in the chat earlier, but this generic Eden EP Online email address will get you to who you need to be connected with ASAP. You can also call our office. You can also find a lot of great information on our website. So please do reach out. But as we noted, there is that high school registration form is live now, so you can start filling it out at any point. And please make sure that you have selected your courses by the end of the month. And then our staff will use that to build out our master schedule and calendar for next year. And we'll have all of that in place by this summer so that you're ready to roll next September. So with that said, again, thanks for joining tonight, taking time out of your evening to learn more about our program. And for those of you that are watching asynchronously, know that again, Ms. Wold will be making the rounds across our Connections Advisory courses here over the next week and a half to chat with your students too and answer questions that they may have. But thanks again and have a wonderful night.